Station, this is Houston. Kevin, are you ready for the event?
Houston, yes, indeed. I'm ready for the event.
WNDU-TV, this is Mission Control, Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is WNDU-TV. How do you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Is this Tricia?
This is Tricia. Good to talk to you, Kevin. We're going to start our interview now at this time. Thank you so much for being able to talk to us. This is an exciting time, not only for the fact that as a Hoosier native and Notre Dame grad being in space, you also get to cheer on the Irish, who are now bound for the national championship game. How closely are you able to follow this team?
Well, it's modern day technology that we have at NASA nowadays. They sometimes can pipe up through the satellite feed the games live, especially on the weekends when we're not doing a lot of business and there's a little extra data bandpass available. So the USC game, I stayed up till 4 a.m. my time to catch the end of that and got to see almost all the game. It was really great to see, of course. And I've been following the season pretty closely.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, and hopefully you'll get to watch the game or follow the game on January 7th as well. We are wanting to know what have been your biggest challenges so far aboard the space station. You've been up there just over a month.
Well, when I arrived right after launch, I launched on the 23rd of October and arrived at the space station after 2 days en route. We did, of course, the launch activities and some burns en route and a rendezvous and docking. Right after we came aboard, we had a lot of really dynamic activities with the crew who was getting ready to go home. We had some repairs that we needed to do outside, and they were fully prepared to go out and do a spacewalk. So that was about 2.5, 3 days of really intense activity to get ready and execute that spacewalk. We sent away a SpaceX vehicle, so finished packing it out and deployed it so that it could fly back to Earth. We received a Russian Progress vehicle as well in those few days and got lots of cargo aboard. So for the first 2 weeks, we were really busy with those events, plus me handing over from the old crew so that they could go home and teach me everything I needed to know to be here by myself in the U.S. segment during this four-week period here until my new crewmates arrive.
For our viewers, I think it would be interesting for them to learn a little bit more about your research. So tell us, most importantly, what your basis of your research is.
Well, there are scientists all over the world who really are the brains behind the research we're doing. It's world-class research and worldwide research, if you will. I'm helping execute an experiment this morning about binary colloids in space, and in zero gravity they just react very differently. They're very useful in a lot of machines and mechanisms on Earth. They respond to magnetism and stuff in very interesting ways, and in microgravity it's a completely different ballgame. So I can see the monitors running right now pulsing these particles as I speak. We do a lot of medical research. Osteoporosis is one of the things that affects us the way it affects, say, elderly people. And right now in the Japanese segment, there's an interesting experiment going on with Medaka fish who generate and lose bone in the same way mammals do. And since we're mammals, what happens to them completely applies to us. So it'll be very useful. Maybe someday we can completely eliminate osteoporosis based on what they're studying.
Well, that makes me think about you and your body in space. How are you doing up there, and are you able to conduct your own workouts and stay fit in space?
Well, you know what? We have absolutely outstanding physical training equipment up here now. Right next to me here, it might be out of your field of view, but is a cycle ergometer, if you will, mounted on some springs so it doesn't impact the microgravity on the space station. So when we move around it vibrates and it doesn't impact that. So I did that this morning, and we also have a weightlifting machine. Weights don't work here, but we have ways of pushing against pistons that are pushing against the air pressure in the cabin. And with mechanical advantage, you can lift up to 600 pounds on that machine. So great workouts on those. And we have a treadmill that we can run on as well, the T2 Colbert treadmill. So with bungees holding us down. So that's great training for us. We have physical trainers at home that send up prescriptions, and we have to do what they say. And throughout the mission, they'll continue to build me up so that I'll keep my bone mass and my muscle mass so I'll be ready for return.
You've given me a guilt trip because I should be working out more, especially after Thanksgiving. Did you get to enjoy a Thanksgiving meal?
Yes, we did. They put up for us smoked turkey. We had some cranberry, some dressing, corn, if you will. We had yams, candied yams. A previous crewmate left some marshmallow behind so we could put some marshmallows on the candied yams. We have a food heater to warm things up. We don't have a lot of refrigeration, but occasionally we can refrigerate some drinks or something to have them cold. Usually room temperature or hot is the way we go. But at the current time, I'm just here as the only U.S. crew member, and I have 2 Russian cosmonaut colleagues at work in the Russian segment today. And we got together, and I brought the food back, and they really enjoyed having some of it. They really like cobbler, for example, and they surprisingly really loved the cornbread stuffing. I thought was interesting. So they enjoyed that with me.
Well, that's one of my favorites, too. What do you miss the most about Earth right now?
Well, being up here for a long time, one of the fun things about getting here is the zero gravity and floating around. But it also makes things very difficult. This morning I had to take some books apart and put new pages in the books. And when you open them up, the pages just fly away. So I went near a vent, and it kind of held them in place, an inlet vent. Because sometimes gravity is really your friend. And, of course, we're totally experienced in gravity. That's all we know for the most part. So when you get up here, it makes things fun, but it also makes things very difficult. And then, of course, it's a metallic plastic environment up here. So you miss the sights and the smells of home, and, of course, so many faces. We get to see each other, and my crewmates are like brothers to me. But to see a lot of people is a rare thing. So you kind of miss social interaction, and you miss the environment of Earth, which, we were really built for.
We have some viewer questions from Facebook I'd like to ask you at this time. Mike has this question. There is a big push to go beyond our planet. Do you think mankind will someday populate a moon or another planet in our solar system?
Someday is a long time, and I absolutely think they will. One of the things I'm so proud about is that we're taking, some of the countries who can afford it, the most affluent countries in the world, are doing something for the future. Whether it's 200 years from now or whether it's 600 years from now, this is the start that we're taking. And someday we will go to other places to live. And there's no question about it. It's a necessity, actually, if humankind wants to survive forevermore. So I think that's going to happen.
Here's one more question from Tara. Do you think the U.S. will ever have a manned shuttle program again, or will the future of space travel be an international effort?
Well, I hope it's always an international effort. All the international partners can bring a lot to the plate. Space travel is very complicated. There are a lot of elements involved. There's supply delivery. There are experiments that having all the brightest minds around the planet can bring to the plate. Just advancing the cause of space exploration. We need all those ideas. And right now, this International Space Station, all the partners come together and supply us with the capability. We built this space station using the Canadarm2 supplied by Canada. The power is, for the most part, all supplied by the U.S., and the comm system is supplied by the U.S. Cargo delivery now starting to be supplied from U.S. Commercial vendors, and also our Russian partners. Our crew transportation right now is Russian provided. So it's good that all these elements come together to make what the space station is. I think we'll have a shuttle program to get to and from low Earth orbit again someday, but what form it'll take is your guess is as good as mine.
Kevin, thank you for your time today. Go Irish and be safe, okay?
Yeah, okay, go Irish and play like a champion. And I like to live by that up here too, playing like a champion on board. So great to hear from you at WNDU, Tricia.
Thank you.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the WNDU-TV portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from the Observer.
Station, this is the Observer. How do you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, and I get Observer emails, but I don't get as much chance to read them right now. How are you doing down there at Notre Dame?
We're doing well. It's good to have a good football team, as you might imagine.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It makes the season great. I love college football season anyway, but it's really special this year, and especially watching the games from in space.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my first question. You've been able to follow the games, I gather, and watch the USC game?
We have a high data rate comm system that on weekends is not all tied up with passing, scientific data and stuff, and they pump a little bit of TV up here on it. It's not the best quality, but I can follow what's going on for sure.
Do you have any sort of Notre Dame memorabilia or anything up there with you on the station?
Yeah, I actually had the Aeronautics and Aerospace and Mechanical Engineering Department, AME department, supply me with a little token that's kind of a memorabilia, and I brought up a little God Country Notre Dame coin along, and a class ring for me and my daughter, who I have a son and daughter who are also Notre Dame grads, and then a small wardrobe of Notre Dame shirts and memorabilia.
Going back a little bit, from Notre Dame, what sort of lessons from your education and time here at Notre Dame have stuck with you throughout your career?
Well, that you never know what's going to be important to you sometime down the road. This is an international program, so courses I had in the social sciences, a funny thing that happened to me senior year was I found out late that I needed one more social science because I was an engineering graduate, and the one that fit just happened to be Intro to Russian. And I took Intro to Russian, and I speak Russian now on a daily basis up here in space with my Russian colleagues. All the branches of education are important to you, but of course, the major is important to what you want to do as well. And then I would just add to it, you never know where you're going to end up for sure in a career field. So any education is great education.
Was being an astronaut sort of a lifelong dream for you? Obviously, you're an aerospace engineer, but did you know you wanted to do this from an early age?
Well, I suppose I kind of feel like a lot of kids, there are a lot of jobs out there you just think are really cool when you see people doing them. And, an astronaut was always one of them that, though it seemed special to me, I never really thought that it was a possibility because I knew the numbers were so small. But I did know I wanted to be in aviation and be in engineering, and I was an Air Force pilot and became an Air Force test pilot. And from there, it was kind of a next step because the space shuttle is really kind of the top of the line, really cool flying machine, if you will. So that's why I ended up applying to the space shuttle program and being an astronaut.
What sort of surprised you about being in space? I'm sure you've been training for this for a long, long time, but was there anything that sort of took you by surprise?
Well, I make little mistakes all the time being in zero gravity, and things surprise me. Things float away from you very quietly. You learn as you get here. After you've been here a few weeks, you kind of forget about where the floor is and where the walls are and the ceiling are, and you can just operate kind of in any orientation and be happy there. So it kind of surprises me how your mind adapts to that, which way to turn, passing through modules and everything, whether you're in any orientation. And the other thing that surprises you is just how bright blue the beautiful Earth is out there. Every time you see it, it just glows. It's like it's neon. So it's a surprising view with your own eyes.
How long are you going to be on the station, and what are your maybe top goals while you're up there?
Well, my top goals are to serve the increment manager and the science program. There are people on the ground who put together my daily schedule, and today I'm conducting an experiment with Huntsville, Alabama called In Space. It's about binary colloids in space. And so day to day, I do maintenance and take care of the space station as the increment managers and flight directors direct me to do. So I'm really just the hands-on, if you will, for all the people around the world who put these experiments together and decide what we want to do in space. I'll be up here until the middle of March is the plan, maybe longer, you never know. So keep my fingers crossed. I do enjoy being up here. So it'll be a total of about a 5-month stay by the time I come home.
I suppose what's an average, along those lines, is an average day mostly work? Do you get some time for recreation?
I would say my recreation time in a day so far has been pretty limited, maybe to like an hour a day. My recreation is usually watching a video or a TV show while I'm on a treadmill or while I'm on an exercise machine. So we get 2.5 hours a day of exercise, and we kind of consider that recreation. And then we're scheduled for 6.5 hours of activities. And then with meals and getting ready for conferences and collecting things and just taking care of yourself and getting a good night's sleep, it fills the day. So not a lot of recreation right now, but I did stay up until 4 a.m. on Saturday night, my time, to watch that West Coast game of Notre Dame against USC up here live. I watched it to the very end, and it was fantastic. You guys must be really having a good time with that.
We sure are. It's been fun, and for a senior, couldn't ask for a better way to go out. One last question for you.
I understand.
What message do you have to current Notre Dame students?
You know, I would say I feel very, very lucky to be in this job. I know it's a very unique job. One of the things that makes me sad is that more people can't come off the planet and see what it looks like and what a space station's like and live out here. And I never expected to be able to be here. I applied for the astronaut program many times and was rejected. And finally, when I was 40 years old, I just happened to fall into a slot and get selected. And now I'm over 50 and finally flying in space. So persistence is a big thing. If you really want something, find good ways to go after it. If a door closes for you, find another door that you would love to go in and try that too. And you never know where you'll end up in life. So appreciate all the classes you're getting. When I look back on my career at Notre Dame, I think of all those classes I had and how many of them came into play later that I never expected would. So that would be my message to the students, and you got to get it out of the books. So keep in there and keep studying. Spend some time in the library and a carol like I used to.
Well, I appreciate it. We'll keep sending out those emails, and if you get a free moment, it'd be nice to know that an astronaut is reading the Observer too.
It's great. I love the fact that you guys send those out, and I love keeping up with what's going on campus. Not just, of course, the sports, but all the other things you guys are experiencing too, because it is like home for me. We just flew over South Bend just about one orbit ago, by the way. Made it almost direct pass overhead. It was still dark hours, I think, on the ground for you, so nothing visible. But I'll keep my eye out and try to get a shot of the dome sometime.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. And I always have to just go upside down and finish out the conference. I'll turn around and show you my best side. You guys take care at Notre Dame. Tell everybody I said hi.
Will do.
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes the event.
Houston ACR, thank you very much. I think it went good. Appreciate it.
Thank you, WNDU-TV and the Observer Station. We are now resuming operational audio communications.